gamers, and welcome to episode 404 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for January 28th, 2023. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
Well, it's been quite a few things going on this week, but you know what, man, we just can get right into it. I mean, I've been good this week. You been good?
Yeah.
You been all right? All right. So let's get to it. I'll just quickly go through sports. Cowboys lost, so everything's all good in the world. And so we just watch these games for fun, even though there seems to be a big debate of who's better, Mahomes or Burrow as quarterbacks. They're going against each other, Bengals versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't care about who's better. I just want to see who wins. You know, like, you can have that. I'm done with like those kind of arguments. It's like, I like Burrow. I like his swag, man. I mean, this guy is great. I mean, Holmes is an incredible player to watch, and I want to see if he can play, because he hurt his leg or foot, I forget. But I wonder how he'd be able to move in these games, in this game, and even the next game. I mean, how he heals. But if he does have the Super Bowl, but I don't know. We'll find out. San Francisco. That's a great story. Brock Purdy, last pick of the draft. Not a 6th rounder like Tom Brady was, which is pretty damn good too. But you're talking about the 7th rounder, last pick, Mr. Irrelevant. And he is one game away from the Super Bowl. That is incredible. And they're playing the Eagles, so that's going to be tough for them. Eagles been looking great all year. I mean, that's another good story too. Jalen Hurts. A lot of people didn't really see Jalen Hurts doing what he's doing now. Like, I definitely didn't. And it's incredible what he's done. And they destroyed the Giants. So this should be a good game. I hope both these games are good games to enjoy coming up. Well, y'all already know the results, so I hope y'all enjoyed the games if you're watching them.
Are they both played on Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what else we have here, Dan? We got All-Star game results are here for the starters. I know LeBron got the most. Thank God KD didn't get the most this time. Giannis got it. Somebody who could probably actually play in the fucking All-Star game. So he doesn't have to pick. If they're still doing the picks thing, even though I don't care about that anymore, because I feel like both sides are pretty even, where I want East versus West. Like, I just want East versus West. Like, I mean, I'm good with that. I mean, but I'm not, it doesn't matter. It's not really for me. It's for the kids. So it's whatever. So like the All-Star game, that's basically what it is for. Even though I like the way they do it, because of that new rule of, whoever wins the quarters, the money goes to that specific charity, or and then it makes it so that it's more competitive at the end, because it's like, oh, if you're whoever gets to this number first basically wins,
right?
And
yeah,
it gets
competitive.
I guess it all depends how far the other team is off. But I mean, that was good the first year they did it. The first year, and that was the year I really watched it. That was great. After that, I didn't really watch them because I this is an All-Star game. So like I said, when I was young, I was into it. Say, oh, you see my favorite players. Now I'm older. It's not. I'm like, I mean, it's whatever. I know my friend, he's still into it because he's all saying, oh, they think this guy shouldn't be getting in. I was like, hey, you still care about this? I was like, who cares? But Kyrie Irving, it's funny. He's been picked for his position in the East. He's number one. He was picked number one by the players, number one by the fans, but number 4 by the media. So I think the number 4 by the media is because of the situation that happened some months ago with the Jews. And but thing is, I'm like, oh, I guess the fans don't give a shit. And because most fans probably didn't even know what the fuck was going on. They didn't even understand what the hell was going on, because all they heard was that he hates Jews. And it was like, does he really hate Jews? It was like, is that thing? It doesn't seem like it.
And they were like, yeah, we do too, so who cares?
Yeah, I don't think that was the case. No. Maybe some Jewish people was spinning it that way. But no, that's not the fucking case. And I'm kind of glad, too, that people see it that way. Like, it's not like, oh, man, they ain't sort of say, nope, the fans and players are pretty much on his side, which is incredible because I don't think he's been I don't know when was the last time he was a starter in an All-Star game. Like, I don't care about him being a starter. I'm just saying, like, from the votes, so like, okay, this didn't, like, make it so bad for him. Because I didn't, I definitely was not.
Made him relevant again.
Yeah, anything against Jews.
Brought his name to the forefront.
Yeah. That, or maybe that's what it was. It was like, hey, if you apologize, we'll put you in the starting position at in the East. That's the deal. And that was sucky. That was the deal. That's a sucky deal. Anyways, but yeah. I was a little surprised to see him as voted as a starter. I thought he should be up there. But, I mean, I don't know. The only team I watch is the Wizards, so I damn sure know none of them was going to be there from watching this season. Kuzma, though, got a lot of votes for the Wizards, but I don't know if he'll get in because this is just the starters, so I don't know what the reserves are going to be. Mm-hmm. And plus, people are going to be injured, so, some people are going to be taking places of others. So Kuzma might get in and if that situation happens, if somebody's injured, well, I know Durant probably not going to play, so that's one forward not playing. There's probably some other people too. So other than that, baseball, I know still there's been some trades with the Orioles, but nothing that I feel like is worth talking about. Like baseball, I pretty much wait till the season starts, man. Or spring training just to see anything happens, any injuries happen or something like that. That's it. So any wrestling news?
It's Royal Rumble weekend. That's going to happen tonight as of recording this. Just kind of the big spectacle that it always is every year. I talked last week, I think, about...
You said tonight, so there is there something tomorrow night too, or that's...
No, that's why I asked about the football stuff, because I wondered if that was the reason why, and that's exactly what it is. They didn't want to compete with the NFL. They know better. So I appreciate them doing Sunday pay-per-views, especially something like the Royal Rumble where there's a potential it's going to go on for longer.
Saturday.
Yeah. So, I'm excited for that. The Royal Rumble out of all the WWE pay-per-views is always fun because it gives so many opportunities for surprises between now they have the Women's Royal Rumble match as well. So there's a lot of opportunities to see people who you may not have seen in a while. I know, there's a lot of speculation with the Men's Royal Rumble about the potential of The Rock returning. It kind of feels like it's just not going to happen anymore.
What is this? Is this a vaccine thing too?
Okay, go ahead. The Rock's calling you about vaccines. Or he's calling you about the XFL. Who knows? It doesn't seem like the Rock thing's happening, but everybody has got it set that, Cody is going to be kind of the guy to go up against Roman at WrestleMania if the Rock's not there. And that's unfortunate just because the story that they're telling with Sami Zayn right now, he's been going through this thing where he was trying to get in with the bloodline, which is Roman Reigns and the Usos group, because, they're family. And he's finally made headway. He's now part of the group. He's now gotten acceptance from everybody. But the slow turn of Roman deciding that he doesn't want him to be in the group anymore has finally started to begin. And now it seems like something's going to happen tonight at the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns is going to have a match against Kevin Owens, who is the friend / nemesis of Sami Zayn on any given day. So there's drama there, whether, Sami's going to help him or whether he's going to cost Roman something, or, Roman's not going to lose here. He's not going to lose the belts. They could maybe go the route of having him get disqualified or something like that and have him lose the match, but not lose the belts. But I'm not sure that they're even ready to do that yet. So there's a lot of intrigue to happen tonight. So I'm excited for that. AEW is still kind of trucking along. Their Dynamite show was very good this week. I talked last week about how Jay Briscoe had passed away, but how they didn't really do anything on AEW because there was some kind of stuff with the networks. TBS didn't want the Briscoes on at all. Apparently Tony Khan was able to convince them because they were able to have Mark Briscoe, Jay Briscoe's brother.
So why not?
It stemmed from some stuff that Jay Briscoe had tweeted many years ago. Basically some very homophobic stuff that he apparently has since, kind of righted.
Yeah, Twitter has been around that long for many years ago.
Yeah, unfortunately. So it sounds like Tony Khan talked to those people and was able to convince them. So Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal, who was another former Ring of Honor guy who was friends with Jay Briscoe, had a match in the main event of that show that was very good. And they had kind of a moment at the end where the locker room came out and kind of greeted Mark Briscoe at the top of the stage. It was very nice. They also had a video package for Jay Briscoe that was very emotional. Yeah, so that's kind of where wrestling is right now. Just kind of looking to see how the Royal Rumble goes tonight. And then once that happens, it'll be the road to WrestleMania, Dominic. And then for AEW, it's the road to Revolution because their pay-per-view is, I believe, in March, somewhere around there. So their next big one is coming up soon. So yeah.
All right. So let's get into what we've been watching. So I just been watching Andor still.
Okay.
Like I've been watching basically once a week. So I only have 2 or 3 more episodes left.
Right.
But yeah, it's still good. It's still been a great watch.
Nice.
So what's the next thing on Disney that's supposed to come out?
What did I just see get a release date? Let's see, Disney Plus series. You got to watch the National Treasure one first, Dominic, before you worry about anything else.
Oh, I mean, I never watched the National Treasure movies.
You're in for a treat, Dominic. You should go. I do enjoy it. The first one's.
I know people say
good.
They like it, but I mean the movies, but I just never did watch. Maybe I'll watch it. I mean, maybe I'll check them out. I mean the movies, but TV show, I think I'm good.
I haven't heard anything about the TV show. I was actually surprised that it was up there already because I'd faintly heard something about it because I saw a teaser for it and I was like, oh, they're just bringing those movies to the service, and then I was like, no, it's a series. I was like, oh, okay. Bad Batch season 2, when is that coming? See, they don't have dates for any of this stuff right now. Willow, you gotta go back and watch Willow. Dancing with the Stars.
Nah, I'm good on that.
Yeah, this is all stuff that's already on there. Oh, the Orville's on there now. Interesting.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, I'm not sure because as far as what have I heard them talk about recording? I don't know that I've heard them really talk about anything. Oh, I guess Mandalorian season 3. Are we on season 3 now? We're on season 3, right? Mandalorian season 3 comes out.
I mean, they had that trailer. Yeah, they had that trailer during the football game.
Yeah, the NCAA playoffs, right? That comes out March 1st. So that's probably the next big thing, I guess.
Actually, I think it's during the Cowboys game.
Oh, was it? Oh, shit. Okay.
I think the Quantum of
Solace,
that's
what it
or
was.
whatever
The
fuck it's called. The Ant-Man was,
Gotcha.
Quantum Force. I don't know.
Yeah, so.
Quantum Leap. They should call this Ant-Man Quantum Leap.
They can't do that, Dominic. Aren't they doing don't they have a new Quantum Leap show going on right now or something?
Yeah, they do, but nobody's watching that, right? It's like, I have no idea. This.
I don't even know what that is on. All right. Yeah.
I think it's NBC.
Ernie Hudson is in it, though.
All right. So what you been watching?
All right. So I've been watching The Last of Us. I watched the second episode of that. This is the first time you see the clickers. They're kind of out in the free world, trying to get Ellie to the next destination. And yeah, it's still. I'm not really gonna have much to say.
It sounds like you
just
said the clickers are trying to get Ellie to the next destination.
Yes, the clickers are trying. I mean, they are. Death is the next destination. Yeah, I just don't know that I'm gonna have much to say. It's still very, very good as far as production value and performances. It's gonna be interesting because, well, I guess there's more characters in that than I guess I perceive. Right? It's not just Joel and Ellie. I'm already seeing in the trailer, you've got Nick Offerman, the guy from Parks and Rec, is going to be one of the guys that I've heard about being in the game as kind of like a friend or helper of Joel, I guess. Another point of contact. But yeah, I mean, everything looks good. The clicker looks cool, if not just creepy. Yeah, it's a good show so far.
Okay.
So I also watched an episode and a half so far of Velma. I'm not as off-put by it as I initially thought I might be. Although the first episode starts out very much in the way that like a lot of what I feel like a lot of these cartoons that are like weird for adults do, which is just like over the top violence, language, and like sexuality stuff. Because it's basically like they start out in the girls' locker room where it's just suds covering their nipples and their vaginas. And if you really think about it, it's like, this is a high school. Don't really want to do that. But it's just like one of those things where they're like just trying to go over the top with it. It's like, yeah, I look at this series the same way I looked at the Harley Quinn show on HBO, where it's just like, yeah, they're just over the top with it. Obviously, it feels like it fits the Harley Quinn thing more. Like this is not Scooby-Doo that we grew up with. And whether they needed to use those characters or not is obviously up for debate. But so far it's stupid, but it's fine. I don't think all the stuff that's appearing online as far as like the cringy stuff, it's there, but I don't feel like it's any more cringy than a lot of these other shows that kind of have a similar tone. Also have. I don't think it's trying, and maybe I'm missing it, but I don't think it's going for like over the top wokeness or anything like that. Like obviously they have changed the gender, well, not the genders. Well, I mean, got lesbian parents and stuff, but they've changed like the races and stuff like that. And I don't think that's like an indication that they're going woke or anything. It's just like, oh yeah, they're gonna make Velma an Indian girl because that's who's voicing her. So they're moving in that direction. Yeah, I don't think any of it's like particularly offensive in the way that like some of the cringy stuff was coming off online. It's just another one of these like we're being adult for adult sake kind of cartoons, almost like Adult Swim-esque, but not the quality of like a Venture Brothers is where I would place this. So it seems fine. I would actually be interested to see, you watch it and get your opinion on it because you were high on the Harley Quinn show, and see if it's a matter of like that just fitting her character more and it being successful in that department, or if like this actually comes off as okay to you as well.
All right, yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. But shit, man, it might be canceled now. I don't know.
I'm honestly a bit surprised I haven't seen news of that yet.
Yeah, because everything else getting canceled, so I'm like, what's this? I don't want to get it. But then it's just a cartoon, so it's not really an investment, really, right? It's not like a series thing. All right, so I guess we'll get right into what we've been playing. So I've been playing a bit with my Oculus this week. Okay. I haven't touched it in a while, really, well, except for like watching movies. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yeah, I did buy this game Boneworks, which people have been talking about on the Oculus or VR headsets on PC, and now it's on the Oculus Quest. I forgot how long it's been on the Quest now, but Quest 2 now. But I picked it up, and yeah, I'm just playing through the campaign stuff. There's mods you can download that people have built and do, but going through the campaign, it kind of reminds me of what is it, Portal? Like in that at first you start out like you're back in the ages of the Middle Ages or something, because just like you're about to be hung. And like this rope comes down. Like first it's just this rope. It's just darkness, and you see the rope with the loop, and then I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm supposed to swing on it, and then then I was like, well, I was gonna put it on my head, and then I put it over my head, and then it appears you're in front of this crowd, and they're about to drop you down, and while you're being hung, but they put a knife in front of you. Somebody puts a knife in front of you, and then you pick up, you like down, like after it drops, like it's like you're choking because the screen starts getting a little darker, but you got to cut yourself with the knife, and then you fall down, and then you're going through this dungeon. That's just like the tutorial, like showing you what you can do and things, how to equip like items and stuff like that. Now the thing is, when I first started, I think I was a dude, but then I didn't really officially save it. I just said turn it off, and then I went back in. Then I turned to a woman. It's like I don't know what happened there. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. But I was like, wait a minute, can you choose what to be? But I didn't really see that in the menu, so I was like, what's going on? But whatever. So the physics is what's really great about this game. Like everything just seems somewhat real, you know, like when I'm trying to pick up, like, or hold a weapon, like some weapons, like if it's heavy in one hand, you ain't gonna swing it right, like, because it ain't meant to be. You can't hold it; it's too heavy. You got to hold with both hands. I was swinging at the skeletons that are attacking me. Then you have the lighting is pretty good with the torch. Also, like trying to break through, like get through this crack in the wall. Like the wall was somewhat cracked, and like I could push the blocks. I mean the rocks, you know, out the way. It was pretty. It felt real, like pushing them out and stuff like that. Like it had some weight probably to them, or when I had to move these blocks to make it so I could step on them to pull this lever. Yeah, I mean the physics are pretty damn good. And then I got to a part where, so that it looks like current times, look like it's a lab, and I saw a locker and stuff. So I was like, oh, this definitely is similar to Portal or something like that. like there's like, I guess they were monitoring something, but I don't know where everybody is. And there's some writing on the walls saying like, where is everybody? Or like these things like somebody had written these messages or something. So it's like a mystery. Like you're trying to find out where are you and what is going on. And so, yeah, I just stopped at one point. Oh, then it kind of reminds me also, well, definitely, Portal is, you know, Half-Life. So the guy. So it did have like this robot thing came out when I like a like a crab like robot thing. It had a bunch of legs and it jumped. It almost jumped on me. It was like those what's those things called? These we called the hitters or whatever they call.
Oh, the head crabs.
Head crabs, yeah. But it was just a robot, and like tried jumped at me, but I just caught it. And I was like, how do I break it? And I just banged it on the wall, and then it just like all the oil started coming out. But it actually looked like blood. Just like when I hit the skeleton, when I bashed it, it looked like I saw blood come out. So I was like,
that's from your
how
hand.
the hell the skeleton got blood? And then I started banging that, and it looked like it was blood on the wall, and it ended up stopping. Like, it just stopped, and then I just threw it to the side. Yeah, man, but I do want to play some more of it. It's really suspenseful, but I haven't. Yeah, the most I saw was the skeletons. I only saw like 2 or 3 of them. Like it was one that was already tied up. And I guess that's really to test. That was a way of them showing you how to what you can do, like to kill a skeleton and stuff. Like their tutorials are almost trial. Like they're not really told to you. Some of them kind of are. Because they have to be like how to do item placement and things like that, or how to hold a weapon. But to really like, they don't tell you how to do everything around the world. You just got to test it out yourself.
That's cool.
So yeah, I'm definitely going to be playing some more of this game, and I'll probably be looking up some of the mods that people have created using the physics and everything of this game, because I'm hearing like some great things about it. And yeah, I'm surprised this is like it was available on the Oculus 2, Quest 2, or the Meta Quest 2, I guess I'm supposed to say now. But because of now the lookup, I know some people say who played the PC version, like, yeah, it doesn't look as good or run as smoothly as the PC version. I mean, obviously, because of the power, but people are comparing it and say, hey, it works pretty well. Like for Oculus Quest 2, it's pretty well done.
If there. You're still able to have a fun experience with it, then that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. What else did I play? I've been playing some more. I played some Creed also on the Oculus. I got very tired. I'm very out of shape, and I cannot finish this fight. I might have to practice the early. I don't even know how you do that in this game. I think it's a solo mode, something where you could probably pick your fights instead of just going to campaign. But yeah, the problem with Creed is that the whole training session is just wonky. It's like is almost like it goes as a montage. So you have to hit the points and stuff within the montage. If you miss it, you just miss it. And they'll just go forward. They'll just go forward to you to the next fight. And I was like, can y'all pause it a bit? Like, so I can at least try to get this done? Because first, I didn't even know what the fuck I was supposed to be doing. But they do this every time between fights. Like, you go through this montage and you gotta, these mini games. But I don't know. I don't like how they set that up. But yeah, man, this fight I'm in now, I think it's like the 3rd or 4th fight. I'm fighting some Hispanic dude, and yeah, he kicked my ass basically because I was just too tired to punch anymore. I was basically trying to be like Homer, just take the punches and hope you get tired, but it wasn't working.
There was no mode to come in and save you, huh?
Yeah, no, no. What else? So I played some more Monster Hunter. Been playing through that game. Went to a new environment, like a snow environment. I killed a family of like these woolly mammoth looking things, whatever the hell they were, that got tusks but no. I can't see their eyes or nothing. Like the hair is all over them, and I sort of felt bad, but then I was like, you know what? They're not real.
There you go.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I go ahead. And plus, I'm better than them, so that doesn't matter. It's like, I mean, I'm having fun just going through hunting the monsters and like the different ways they attack you and react to you. And I even did the one where I didn't want to kill it. I just want to capture a monster, which had a hard time figuring out how to do it. I had to look up online. They said the easy way to do it was like put a trap before they get trapped and then throw this trank on it. But it took quite a few times for me to do it. And I'm doing it with cheats. So I have like infinite items. So I'm thinking like, damn, man, if I had infinite items, I don't know how the hell I would have beat this damn thing. So yeah, it took like forever for me just to capture it because that was like that was one of the special optional quests. Because I was like, oh, because I was thinking like I've been slaying a lot of big monsters, and I was like, why am I not completing it? I said capture. So you can actually just capture. So I forgot. I think I did do that in Monster Hunter World. I think
Who
I
wants
actually
to do
tried
that? Just murder those monsters.
exactly.
Their pelts.
So yeah, I did that, and I also like it when there's big monsters fighting each other, or like I'm fighting a monster, and another monster just comes, and then sometimes I watch them fight, and oh man, one time, I mean, I think it's the last video when it was all three of them came and like just fighting each other, and I just roll in the back of one using them to just like beat them up and stuff. Like it's yeah, it's pretty neat. Like playing that, man, like how they make like make the monsters like animals and stuff like that, even the smaller ones, like the reactions and how they work together. Like one of them, like if they're not with their buddies or something like that, they'll attack you a little bit, but they'll run away until they get with their buddies. Then they kind of just work together to attack you and everything. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the controls are still obtuse to me. I mean, I'm just using the double sword because it's just a whole lot easier just to attack with that. I know it was one weapon I remember Monster Hunter World where I had to like charge it up. It was something weird, but it was just felt so weird to attack. I might pick it up again just to try it out. I mean, since I can't, it's going to be hard for me to die. I mean, now that I figured out how to like keep my health up, I can probably play around with that more. Because I think that was the problem. Was like, like me trying to play around to figure things out, but I'm dying. And like, also, it's like that just doesn't work for me. Like, really, it's just me breaking this game. Just like some previous games I played. Like, me being able to break the game is what makes it more fun for me. So I might join. Maybe I might join. Like, I'm definitely gonna turn my cheats off. But I might join some people just to hunt some monsters together to see how that is. Work out. I'll make sure I level myself up a lot more that I can go, so I won't be like, I can't hold you. I ain't gonna hold you back because I got a whole lot of health from my cheat. So I'm coming in there with a big health bar so I can survive. All right. But there was something else in that game, I think. It's a lot of mechanics in that game, man. Like they have it where you can get other dogs and cats, like you can hire them like mercenaries. And at first I was thinking like mercenaries like humans, like say, oh, you can hire a computer mate to play with you. No, they were talking about the cats and dogs. I was like, what? I said, I don't really care about that. I wanted like a person to come help me. Like all I'm only doing is just switching out the ones I currently have. I mean, the reason you do that is that you hire them because you can let them train and they'll level up while you're on missions. Whoever it be, the mercenary ones or your original pets. And then you can have them have different abilities. So I guess it's like, hey, you want this specific dog on this mission and blah, blah, blah. So they got that. And then they even have it where you can have one of the cats go on like an expedition to find some items for you or something while you're gone. It's a lot of stuff with this game. I mean, it's a lot of game. It's a lot of game if you're into this. Like to pay attention to. That's why I'm glad I got cheats because I don't really want to pay attention to all of that and all that stuff. Yeah. Really, I want to manage all that. What else have I played? I played some more Persona 5. I'm closer to the end now. I got a few more bosses to probably go through, but yeah, just still going through that. I play a little bit of Vampire Survivors. I think I completed it with the witch. Like I completed a whole stage with the witch.
The one with the cat, right?
Yeah, with the cats. Yeah, those cats are pretty they're fucking annoying. Yeah, and that's basically it. So, what you been playing?
All right, so I played this platformer that came out a little bit ago, It's called Electhead. It's out on PC and Switch. Might be elsewhere, but those are the places I know. It was on sale during like the Steam sale a bit ago for really reasonable. And I had been wanting to try it out. It's basically a very simple platformer, but your character is this kind of like a conduit for electricity. So when you jump on a platform that has electricity, then you like transfer that, and by that you're kind of solving puzzles to progress in the platforming. It's really simple. It's really kind of neat. It has the graphics of like an NES game, kind of like a Mega Man almost from the NES times. So far,
what you played this on?
It's cool.
What console you played this on?
I was playing this on PC.
Okay.
I got it through Steam. Yeah, it's not much more to say about it right now. I haven't gotten too deep into it. I'm not entirely sure how long it is really. But it's a neat little thing so far. I also played some Spider-Man Miles Morales. I had my PS5 on for another game I'm going to talk about later. And I was like, you know what? This is something that I've been meaning to get around to playing. And I think is when my daughter is around is relatively fine for me to be playing in front of her. Granted, she actually ended up not being in the room while I was playing the majority of it anyway. And when she came back, she was like, Spider-Man, that's cool, but let's watch Mickey Mouse or something. But I played through kind of the first bits of it where you're fighting the Rhino and then into where you're actually out in the open world stuff. And then into the first mission where you're going to the, I don't think it's the Oscorp building, the Rexon facility.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did some of that and then some of these like holographic training things that Peter had left behind. Because apparently Peter's going on vacation to Europe or something like that. And you're taking over the Spider-Manning for a while. So, yeah, I'm having a good time with that so far. I know they changed some of the control stuff around from the game, the first game. It's been so long since I played that one at this point, though, that that didn't trip me up at all. I feel like I remember it kind of feeling weird when I first tried it out shortly after it came out, but that was also around kind of the time that I had played that first game. But I hadn't noticed any of that. Graphically, it looks fine. I don't know that anything is like caught my eye in a way. I feel like the ray tracing stuff, because I think I'm playing it in like looks good mode or whatever. I feel like that for me, as someone that's always had kind of a hard time in seeing, outside of like very obvious drops, like differences in frame rates, like the difference between like a 60 constant and a 120 constant, I feel like I'm not really able to notice the difference of unless you put them side by side. And I feel like that's how it's going to be for a lot of this ray tracing stuff, where it's like, unless you show me right next to each other that, oh yeah, they've just been faking lighting so well for so long that I'm not going to necessarily notice the difference. Yeah, so that's cool. And then the reason I turned my PlayStation on was to try out the Forspoken demo. You know, that game finally released. That demo's been out for a little while now. And, you know, now everybody's talking about it because of the reviews. That game seems fine. Visually, I think it looks pretty good for the most part. I think the combat is interesting. You can have these two like sets of different style combats, and then from there you have like three, at least from the demo, three different variations on those different kind of weapon sets. And you have kind of a more melee focused thing, which I actually liked. And then there was a more like ranged style shooting spell kind of stuff. I could see if you're more into that kind of thing, like switching between that stuff and using it really creatively, for me, I just went in there and kind of turned it to melee and wailed away on the enemies. The biggest problem I had with it was like the HUD everything is very small, and for me to be able to read it from sitting on the couch, it was honestly a little difficult, and it didn't seem like they really had options they had options to make the HUD bigger, but none of the text really seemed like it got any bigger. So
I hate that with subtitles sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what the hell you had a subtitle so freaking small? It's like you should. I know some people like you should have a size thing with that.
Yeah,
like
exactly. That's a lot of modern streaming apps at least have the kind of size thing.
Yeah.
I've definitely found myself turning on subtitles more and more on everything. And part of it is like I started putting subtitles. Well, I think I started using subtitles before, but for when I'm putting on kids stuff, I like to put on the subtitles because I've heard that it's a good way to like transition kids into reading. So they kind of associate the words that they're seeing with the sounds that they're hearing.
This ain't the parenting podcast, dude. You do that on your own time.
But I also just have a hard time hearing stuff sometimes. So I'm getting older, Dominic. But yeah, I really struggled to read some of that stuff, and that kind of sucks. It would definitely not be as big a problem if I was playing it like the PC version of it, because I'm so much closer to my monitor. But I remember when like there was a big deal of like transitioning from standard def stuff to HD stuff, and people having a lot of trouble reading subtitles and whatnot. And like Dead Rising, I think it was one of those games. It's like, why are we at that point still where you guys don't know how to just maybe put options in there? We have all these companies putting like these extreme, going to these extreme lengths of adding accessibility options. Meanwhile, some of like the most basic stuff that has existed for years, they haven't bothered with.
Yeah.
Was it the Spyro
be
remasters that came out and didn't have subtitles at all? Was that one?
The Spyro.
Yeah. It's just like, come on, guys.
Yeah. So, yeah, and like, we have to get to a point where that shouldn't be an award. Like, who had the best accessibility options? Like for Jay Keighley, that shouldn't be an award no more.
No,
that should be just a standard.
What's in everything.
Yeah, that should be just a standard.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's what like maybe Jeff Keighley's trying to promote by having an award.
No,
now
I ain't saying he's wrong for doing that.
Yeah,
I mean, I like that he's doing it because it's not everyone's not using that. Yeah. Standard.
Really, what we should have is the Shame Awards, Dominic, like the Razzies. That's the movie one, right?
Exactly, the ones who didn't use it. And I understand for like indie games
Razzie.
not having it, like indie games, that I'm not going to put that on them. But for the but it's sad that when you do see indie games that have it, and you look at like the big freaking company games that don't, and it's like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but in general, Forspoken seems fine. The reviews, I think, have mostly been temperate. Nothing great there. So, as far as an exclusive for the PlayStation, I think it's kind of like we talked about with some of these other games. It's a good accessory game. It's not going to be one of their top tier things that people look back on the year and say like, oh my God, they had this game, they're blowing Xbox out of the water. But to add that to a Final Fantasy and a Spider-Man 2 and stuff like that, I think just bolsters their library a bit. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I was about to say, I do want to play that game. I want to try it. I still want to try that game out because it's something new to play.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see it for myself.
The movement, like the parkour stuff. It's not so much like the parkour part of it is cool, but just giving you the option to transverse this open world environment quickly much like when Shadow of Mordor came out, and they were just like, yeah, you hold this button down, you run really fast, like it's a ghost power or some shit. Like, you know, don't give me more explanation than that. I don't care. I just like being able to get from point A to point B really quickly, and in this case, also very stylishly.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
All right. So I guess that's it. So we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to the flashback segment, a very short one. And we're back. And we have a very short flashback segment because there really was no games that came out of note for 2013. Also, only a few games came out in 2003 to talk about. So one is Black and Bruised. You said you heard of this game?
Yeah, I remember it coming out for the GameCube at the time. It seemed like kind of the hype around it was like, oh, it's another cel-shaded game. You know, there were more cel-shading games back then than there are now, and it was kind of a novelty still. But it also was like kind of a not spiritual successor, but in the vein of like a Punch-Out. And we hadn't seen a new Punch-Out in a very long time. So people were like, oh, this is cool.
All right. So, and the other game is Devil May Cry 2. This is a very anticipated game. I mean, Devil May Cry was so great. I loved it. I cannot wait for this one. But then I saw the reviews for it, and I was very disappointed. And I didn't bother. And then this is the time I couldn't just go ahead and buy a game. I was like, man, I'm not going to spend no money on this game. Well, actually, time out. I don't think I could because I was in college. I had no money. So, this is 2003. No, I wasn't. I was still in high school. My fault. I was just still in my senior year. I could have bought it, but that's $50 that I'll be losing out on. I was like, I can't take a chance on that. So I just said, I'll wait. I said, I'll wait for this. And eventually it came to be, I just never got it. I honestly, I played very little of it. Like, I think the HD collection. I played like a little bit of it, but I just wasn't that interested in it. But yeah, man, people were they were down on it. Like this is not the sequel people wanted. I'm trying to remember why it was that people didn't like it. Now you played as two people, like Dante and Lucia, who you did not even see in the first game. So I was thinking it's gonna be like Trish. Cause I was thinking like, oh, you're gonna play Trish. No, you play some person named Lucia who I didn't know. And I guess who is she? Because at the museum, an item display called Medagula attracts Lucia, a gaggle demons, and Dante, and blah blah blah. Okay, that it's probably in here somewhere where she is, but I don't know. I see the reviews and like maybe a lot of critical. Here we go. This is for Wikipedia. The game received mixed reviews. It got a 68 on Metacritic. Good God. Chief among the complaints was that the difficulty was lower than the first game. Now, that wasn't my complaint. The combat system was also criticized for being less refined, with individual weapons being weaker or stronger variant of the same weapon instead of different weapons with their own advantages and disadvantages. Boss battles was criticized for requiring less strategy than the original. The environment was less detailed than the environments of the first game. Trading detail for open space. That's right. Yeah, they made it more bigger, but it wasn't because that condensed space was actually pretty cool to have. Because it was like Resident Evil, but like you're doing action, and this to try to make it all more open. I guess they want to do more cool, stylish stuff, but it just wasn't that interesting. Spaced out, nullifying one of the primary attractions of the first game. Furthermore, Dante's personality change did not sit well with viewers. I don't remember that. The addition of a second disc was seen as a cheap way for developers to increase replay value, since Lucia's missions are simply recycled material from Dante's own missions. Oh, so the second, I didn't realize it was 2 discs. I didn't know it was like they just put her on the second disc.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Darren, I don't remember that. GameSpot chose Devil May Cry 2 as the most disappointing game of 2003. UGO Networks, I don't know what the hell that is, ranked Devil May Cry 2 19th on its list of the biggest disappointments in video games. adding Devil May Cry was so good, there was no way Devil May Cry 2 could have lived up to the hype, but it didn't have to fail so spectacularly. It could have lived up. I don't think it was. I mean, Devil May Cry was high, but you could have gone better because three was better.
I was going to say, if 3 was a step up, then...
Yeah, so I mean, it was a step up from like just 1, not 1, 2. Like it wasn't just like, oh, it's better than 2 because it was so bad. No, it was a step up from 1 also. So yeah, that's not a good excuse. It did receive some positive reviews from PSX Extreme. Yeah, that's why they're not around no more. Electronic Gaming Monthly praised the game's control scheme and new ideas. They were paid off, obviously. And Play called Lucia's side of the story a cruel sonnet of self-realization wrapped in a story steeped in religious overtones, saying that the story alone was reason to purchase the game. Who the hell is Play? Yeah, fuck Play. All right, so they said the sales were good because of the name. Capcom positioned Devil May Cry 2 as a blockbuster title. It sold well, becoming the top 10 best-selling game in United Kingdom for the first half of 2003. It sold selling for 500,000 to 1 million copies in Japan by July. Oh, but no, however, it did not meet corporate expectations. Sales totaled 1.4 million worldwide by the end of March 2003, slightly below their $1.66 billion forecast. Itself a reduced estimate for initial projections. The game's market shortcomings and troubled creation reflected wider struggles within the company. The cancellation of 18 titles and concurrent development with it led Capcom to undertake a mid-production evaluation and stronger pre-development project vetting. Oh, darn. This game caused a lot of trouble for Capcom, Daniel. They said they canceled 18. One of those was going to be a new Mega Man, Daniel. And they canceled it because of this game. All right, so yeah, that's it for Flashback Segment. So might be some more games next week. I have no idea. Usually, because in these early months, you might get like one big game, but not really a lot. And then back in the day, it wasn't like probably till maybe mid to late February where you start getting us some games, at least multiple games to mention that's worth mentioning. So yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we get back, we get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. Now let's get to the gaming news. What we got there?
All right, Dominic. So first up, we've got the developers behind SteamWorld Dig and SteamWorld Tactics. They have announced that they are making a SteamWorld Build, which is basically going to be like a city builder, but you're going to be building a mining city. And that is coming out sometime this year. There's currently a demo out now on Steam.
Oh, yeah. I want to try that out.
It looks to be, set in that world, has a similar art style to it. Sorry.
I was saying I saw a bit of it. But you said Steam. What was the other game they made? SteamWorld what?
SteamWorld Tactics. They also did that.
That's what it was called?
Game. Was that not?
I thought there was another game between that though.
SteamWorld games. There's definitely one that I'm forgetting.
Yeah, the RPG like one or something.
Let's see. SteamWorld.
What's something with the fighting?
SteamWorld they were fighting. Heist.
Yeah, maybe it's that one.
There's
What's someone with their fighting?
SteamWorld Hand of Gilgamesh. I think that's the card game one. SteamWorld Tower Defense. Why does that feel like it's not related to them?
I think that's somebody that's stealing that shit.
SteamWorld Headhunter. That one might be them. Oh no, Image Informed Games. Let's see. SteamWorld Dig 2, SteamWorld Heist. I think Heist is the tactics style game.
Okay. That's the one. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but those games have always been pretty positively received. So this, for somebody that's looking for a city builder style game, this looks like it could be another cool entry.
Actually, the Tower Defense game came out before the Dig.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I did not respect that as a SteamWorld title.
Yeah, because it was before it was known.
Yep. Back when they were a small little indie studio. All right, Dominic. And then really the only other news I've got here is some of the stuff that came out of the Bethesda and Microsoft showcase, that developer, whatever they called it.
You can't just say all of it. It wasn't that much.
Well, I can't because I didn't watch the full thing, and I don't care enough about the Elder Scrolls Online to really look and see what they announced there.
Oh, well, I can say that. I can tell that.
So what did they have for Elder Scrolls?
They had more Elder Scrolls.
Okay.
No.
Is there a new expansion coming out, I guess?
No, yes. There's a new expansion coming, yes, and for a limited time, all the worlds are free.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
DLC worlds are free, and I thanks for reminding me because I totally forgot because I wanted to try it out. So I need to put that somewhere to remember to play this game. I got to put this, where would I look? I don't have any more sticky note pad stuff.
Do you have any tape? You gotta just put a piece of tape on your TV or your computer monitor.
I just have to remember. Oh well.
Good luck with that.
I'll forget. Yeah. But yeah, and yeah, so they I forgot what the new world was called. I think it says closer to. It's something you saw from the Skyrim DLC.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. From Dragonborn. It was a world. They say it was mentioned there or something. Which I still have not played that deal. I played it. I haven't finished it. But yeah, them letting you join that world, like test to play these other DLCs. That's pretty neat. And they're even was pretty much explaining to people that you can play this like a regular like Elder Scrolls game if you like. For the people like me who probably don't want to play versus Mario. So he said you can play as a regular and join the PvP and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I mean, I do want to play an Elder Scrolls game, and I guess I should test it out. I'll try it out, man. Now since it's the way it's been done, and plus since I got Game Pass, I can play it. Oh fuck!
What?
But I gotta play it through. No, I don't. I mean, I can just download it, but I can't stream it.
Gotcha.
But you ain't never gonna play it, so I probably just play it under your name.
I'll just taint it with my achievements. Taint my achievements.
Yeah,
with
and then you'll be banned because I say some racist stuff up there. yeah, and cheating too.
All right. So that was everything.
It's like I hate L's. I hate all the L's.
How dare you? That was everything for Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, that was all. Yeah, that's all I can remember. I think that was basically it.
Gotcha. All right. They also showed off some Forza Motorsport 7 that is coming with new tracks. They talked about how there are tracks in there. That's the first time inclusion in their series, like one from South Africa that's going to launch with 20 different tracks. It looks beautiful, but what did you think, Dominic? Was there anything that stood out to you from what they talked about for this game?
I did like. I mean, I'm not really into the car racing that much, but I mean, it's pretty impressive with some of the mechanics they changed with the cars to make it more realistic. So I mean, maybe that's for those car buffs. Maybe that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool of them showing. When I was watching it, I mean, everything looked cool to watch. Honestly, I mean, I like looking at cars. I'm not a car guy, but I like looking at nice cars and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
I mean, knowing it's going to be free on Game Pass, I'm okay. I can deal with it. And plus,
that's the thing, because like I'm always more excited about a Horizon game, but just the fact that this isn't something that I have to buy outside of Game Pass is like, yeah, I'll probably load it up a couple of times at least.
I mean, I prefer Horizon, but I don't mind this. I don't mind having just real tracks and playing. I mean, to me, it's just like being that is technically I mean, it's somewhat free-ish. Is that it's no different than me playing Horizon than it's like me playing. Oh, I just chose to play on this track now because Horizon has tracks too. So yeah, I'm gonna try that. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to get my hands on that game and play it. and tried out the new stuff, like the new lighting system and the day, like the times of the track, like the time of day change.
Yeah, that stuff was cool, where they just kind of showed the transition between day and night and the kind of track environment or track conditions. That was neat.
And some of the wreckage, I guess, is supposed to look better now. I really just wish they could get to the real, well, not too real because, but somewhat real, man. Like I want to see some wreckage, like car door comes off or something like that, or something like that. I want to see my person flying out the window, like it is. It's just.
All right.
Somebody get caught on fire, they got to put them out, and something like that.
You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby. Yes. I want my guy to run out saying he's on fire and not actually be on fire. All right. Next up.
You actually got the controls to stop, drop, and roll. You got to do that.
They didn't show me that in school, Dominic. Do they show? They got to still show kids that, right?
Oh, yeah. They got, But you know what? I'm telling you, Dad, if I get caught on fire, I don't think I'll be doing that. I think I'll be going crazy and don't know what the fuck to do.
I just panic. Yeah, that's why you got to practice it every day, Dominic.
I'll be running to people and putting them on fire.
Help me. Just run into the largest crowd you can find.
Yeah.
That's why you got to practice every day. It's got to become muscle memory. That's why they wanted you to do it in schools. They should do that instead of the Pledge of Allegiance. They should just make you do stop, drop, and roll every day.
That is definitely, I think, more important than other things.
All right. Next up, Dominic, they also showed off Minecraft Legends. They gave that a release date. That's coming out April 18th. What do you think of that? That looks all right.
It does. It does look all right. I just want to know how fast you can build. Because I was like, how long are these matches you playing against these people? Because I hope the building is as fast as you showed that video, but I was thinking that video was fast forward.
Right.
So, because I'm like, because some of those towers, I mean, the little kingdoms they have, it's a lot in there, and I'm thinking I hope it's like a fast build, man, because I can't imagine. Are you playing people for hours or something?
I sure hope not. I don't think any game has succeeded in attempting to convince people to just be playing one match for hours outside of maybe like a World of Tanks or something.
Or I mean, I don't know how long those matches go for Civilization. Because they can, man,
that's
just playing
true.
Single players. Yeah.
Those I feel like are the equivalent of like playing mail by or chess by mail. It's like, okay, you go in, make your move, my phone will ping, and then I'll come make my move.
Yeah, because it's not fast paced. It's not like it's not real time strategy.
Right.
It's turn based strategy. But yeah, so that's why I'm assuming. I wish they would have explained that more. Like, I want to see like a real gameplay of like a guy building something and how long it took, like how long it takes to build something, like just something small, maybe. Just to know, like, okay, you can just pretty much build and collect, because you got to collect the materials too, right? So, I'm guessing you start out with some. I'm assuming, you start out with something, and then you go out and collect more. Because it was pretty creative what they're talking about. They build. I was thinking, like, how long does that take? If you're doing PvP, like, how long does that take? But it does look good.
Yeah. All right, and then the last one they kind of had there. Well, that's actually not true. But the kind of big game that we knew coming into it that was coming out, a Redfall. They gave that a release date. That's coming out May 2nd, 2023. And it seems like that's not... I think we always perceived it as kind of a Left 4 Dead style thing. And it seems like it's not really that. I've heard people... I think even the developers have compared it to like a Far Cry type thing. Basically, you have this open world and you can play it co-op, but you can also just play it single player, and you're kind of fighting these vampires all around this island. It seems really neat. Yeah,
that's what it seems like. Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's because we always knew it was open world, so Left 4 Dead was never open world. Yeah. So that was. Yeah, I was thinking more of like maybe a Dead Island or Dying Light, and it seems like, but like you said, Far Cry, that's a good representation more of it. Because it seems more fast paced. I don't know, for some reason it looks more fast paced than Dead Island was.
Yeah.
I mean, Dead Island. It was just slow, but I mean, it was with the melee weapons was kind of slow, so it was slower than Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
And with Dying Light, you got parkour. I didn't really see much parkour in this one. So Far Cry, I think that's probably the best representation of this game.
Yeah.
But it still looks all right. It still looks pretty good. So May 2nd.
Yeah.
I guess we'll play that game. Minecraft is April 18th. For that one. Forza, I don't remember a date. What was it?
They
didn't have a date
give
for Forza?
A date, I don't think.
Okay.
So I think that one's still.
We're going
to
talk about Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah. So they kind of had a surprise announcement and release of a game. Tango Gameworks, the studio behind Callisto Protocol. What is that?
Ghostwire?
Ghostwire Tokyo. Thank you. And also the Evil Within games, I think, was kind of the one that they were billing it as.
I always forget that one. I mean, which is weird. I know Evil Within more than Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah.
But when I think of Tango Game, I forget, like, oh yeah, that's right. They did the Evil Within and Evil Within 2. That's what they're known for. When they say you always know us for horror, I was like, what was the other horror game? I was like, oh shit, Evil Within.
Yeah. But yeah, this is Hi-Fi Rush. It is a rhythm combat style game. I've seen people describe it as basically like Devil May Cry with like rhythm kind of stuff, and it seems really neat. It's cell shaded. It's very much kind of like the opposite of what you would expect from Tango Gameworks after the few recent titles we've seen from them.
I think it's pretty scary. Oh yeah, that's
but yeah, that game looks really cool. I was trying to maybe get some impressions before we recorded this, but I didn't get a chance to boot it up yet.
Yeah, I didn't try it out either. But
I'm tempted to see how it runs on streaming, but with it being like rhythm based, I wasn't sure if that was going to be the route to go.
Yeah, I wanted to try it on because I think I just looked it up on PC, see how big it was. It wasn't huge. I think it was some gigs, but it's like I was going to try it out on PC and see how it runs.
Yeah,
I don't even know if it's on Xbox One original.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and that's cool that they have something actually released. So
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna announce a new game, that's the right way to do it. So we don't have to hear about it for another 2 years before we actually see anything from it. So, there's like some level of like, I want transparency in video games, so we're not like, oh, you're gonna surprise us with the next Tomb Raider again, woo! But also like, I don't want to hear about a game like 7 years before it's actually going to release, because you're going to expect me, one, to remember that, and two, to like continue talking. Like, you're going to keep putting out just like tidbits of information here and there to try and keep it relevant and in the conversation. But the reality is, like, even to an extent, like this Bethesda thing, that's why I didn't watch the full thing, because it's like, I know what Forza is. Like, tell me when it's coming out. I want to play it, but you're probably not going to tell me much more about it than cars. And you're going to tell me about like how you're making the car sound more realistic. But to me, I'm not a car guy, so like, that's fine. I'm glad you've got something to show off, but just release it already. Let me play that game. So, yeah. Overall, Dominic, what did you think? Good showing from Microsoft?
It was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was just fine, really.
It's fine. Time to move on to the big titles.
Which is, it's sad, because like I wish some of those titles had already came out. Well, at least Redfall had already came out, and like I'm seeing something I didn't hear about you making. Like that's what I was kind of hoping for. I mean, we got Hi-Fi Rush. I mean, That's it. But I was hoping to hear something like by now, like if I guess Redfall and what's the space one called? Starfield. Let's say they came out last year. I would feel like now be announced something that will be coming out either this year or maybe sometime next year at this time, like something something new. Something new. But this is the games we heard last year. I mean, Minecraft Legends was just last year.
Yeah.
But Forza we know was coming. And yeah, Redfall, yeah, I wish we had that now, but I'm glad it's coming. Yeah, I'll at least Hi-Fi Rush that's what probably really helped the show, because I really wish there was something else like big and new, like something I was hoping like something from Gears or I don't know, Perfect Dark or Fable or something.
I was gonna say Fable. I want to know what that is, because I don't know if we know who's working on it, but I feel like last we heard, the rumors were that Playground was working on it, which are the Forza people. Well, the Forza Horizon people, at least. So it's like, what is that game?
Oh, and also I was hoping that they announced something like, hey, the family plan is here for Xbox Ultimate.
Yeah. I unfortunately think you are more right than not in that that's probably going to come around the time or alongside the announcement of prices being raised on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Especially because we're seeing like HBO just raise their prices recently. I would not at all be surprised. And now they also see what Sony is offering, and I'm pretty sure Sony's premium costs higher than Game Pass right now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're looking at that and going, Sony's not even offering as much as we are. We can easily bump this up to $20 a month or what have you. And I don't know if they would go that hard that fast, because it sounds like they're kind of struggling with getting the adoption numbers that they want. So maybe they will just continue to eat it. But I wonder if there's a turn where they're like, okay, well, we've basically hit the peak that we're going to, so let's try and milk a little more out of every account that signed up for this. So I don't know, Dominic. Yeah. So that's kind of what we had for game news. Was there anything else that you were interested in discussing before we move along?
Yeah, there was. I thought there was. Maybe there wasn't. Maybe there wasn't there. Let me look up real quick.
Sure.
I guess not. No, we're good.
All right. So once again, we are going to look into the past and then into the future. We are going to be talking predictions, Dominic. First up, we're going to be talking about kind of the couple of predictions we had last year in what 2022 was going to hold for us. For you, it was basically, we were kind of over the Switch Pro stuff at that point. You had said we weren't going to hear anything about a new Nintendo console, which was completely accurate. We have heard nothing kind of outside of additional rumors that just ended up to not really pan out there. And then I had said that PlayStation VR was going to launch last year during the holiday season. That was not accurate. I was kind of estimating that it was going to have to come in under the price of the Quest 2, and that was before the Quest 2 even raised their price. I was thinking like $250. That is very much not the case. And yeah,
gotta add another $250 to that.
Yeah, exactly. I did say I expected it to be kind of inside out tracking, which they are doing. Obviously, it's not a fully wireless headset though. So yeah, that one was kind of off the mark. I was really hoping a lot more that some of those things were true, but that did not pan out. And I did say I expected Kojima to be working with Microsoft, and we have heard that they are partnering on something. We don't really know.
You had
what
some inside
yet.
information on that. I don't believe you predicted.
That might have been based off of like some rumors or something that I had been hearing, but yeah, it sounds like they're doing their cloud thing. We haven't really heard anything about it since the announcement of that. Since then we've heard that Death Stranding 2 is in the works, so I wonder when we're going to see that game, because it feels like with Death Stranding and now Death Stranding 2, if that comes out in the relative near future, that Kojima's output is going to be a bit quicker than it has been in the past. So those were our predictions for 2022. What do you got for this year, Dominic? What do you foresee happening?
All right. Let me put it up here. Here. All right. So I think there will be a new 3D Mario that comes out this year.
Nice.
Announced and come out this year. I'm going all in. Put all the chips in. I don't think there'll be no Gears of War this year. I think there will be
or just release?
Announced. Yeah, I think you know what? A teaser without any gameplay.
Okay.
I think that's what's going to happen. Because it's going to piss me off. I think there's going to be a new Persona announcement. Like I don't know, it could be a full new game or a new side game, but something new from the Persona. Because I feel like them re-releasing these games, I'm going to say like they're going to see how popular it is, and they're going to have something in what they're working on, and I feel like they're going to announce something this year.
Gotcha.
Oh, wait a minute. Are we taking turns, or am I supposed to say all my predictions?
No, you can say all your predictions.
Oh, I think that Konami will have one of their franchises is going to have a release this year.
Oh, okay.
Unless they already announced that.
I don't think any of their big stuff. They have like the team up with Dead Cells for Castlevania.
Yeah. I'm going to say I'll say there's going to be a Konami release this year. Yeah, a little surprise. Something it could be something small, but I think one of the franchises is going to have something going on. Not counting that Dead Cells thing.
Gotcha.
Also said that the GTA 6 will have a trailer this year, and it will be announced for next year. And like it was announced that it's coming next year, and then we're gonna have some delays, and it come out in 2025 or something like that.
I hate the fact that like 2025 sounds so far away, but it's really just like a year and a half away.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, what I have here. Announce the first or second quarter next. Oh. What? Oh, I think it said it will be announced the first or second quarter next year. MLB, an MLB EA game or something will be announced. Like that it will be, and it will come out the first or second quarter next year. You know what? Actually, maybe I'm saying GTA 6. They will announce it to come out the first or second quarter next year. Maybe that's what I was saying. But I don't want to say that. I was going to say next year. And MLB the same. EA, because they said they were working on. I think they're working on it. Just like the college game, which I still don't know about that. I don't even know it's going to come out this year. That college game.
No, I don't think it is. I think we talked about it being like they had said that 2024 is basically what they were projecting right now.
Yeah. So I said MLB will be announced this year, that they will come out next year with the Major League Baseball game. And Dragon Age, they will actually have a trailer for Dragon Age, but it will not be coming out this year. It'll be coming out next year.
Do you think that trailer comes out like Game Awards then?
I don't think it's that late.
No, okay.
I think we might
like
see a trailer
times.
for doing the what's it called? Either Summer Game Fest or at the EA E3.
Gotcha.
I don't know if EA is going to E3, but they might announce it E3 week or whatever, you know.
Yeah, because they had been out of E3 right before all that stuff. So
yeah,
but they always still had their own thing right around.
Yeah, they already had a thing. It was just doing the E3 time, like they had their own show. You know, Wish McCall was doing that show, and I think that was after E3. The guy used to do Kind of Funny Games.
Oh yeah, Greg Miller. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, that's my predictions.
All right. My first prediction is that Microsoft is going to have another unspectacular year because Starfield is going to get delayed. It's not going to get delayed out of this year, but I feel like it's going to hit after the kind of anniversary date of that last showing where they were like, everything that we have now is coming within the next 6 months or whatever it was. I think it's going to fall out of that range. I don't know if it's going to fall quite to holiday, but I could see it being like a late summer kind of thing. And I mean, outside of that, that's kind of what they've got this year. We talked about that last week. So I don't know that they're going to blow us away again this year. And it's going to be another year of us saying, man, next year, that's going to be when all these games drop. Sort of related to that, I also have that Microsoft will absolutely close the Activision deal. Like that's happening. But there are going to be some concessions, and I think it's going to be more than just Call of Duty. I feel like they're going to end up having to like say, oh, we're going to put some of these other titles out on other consoles for a specific period of time. I don't think it'll be long. I don't think we're talking 10-year like Call of Duty style agreements here, but I could definitely see them saying, you know what, in order to allow these consoles to compete, we're going to be willing to put this product out on other places. As far as Nintendo goes, I've got that we will see Metroid Prime 4, just a trailer, probably somewhere near the end of the year with a launch next year, probably coinciding with the launch of a new hardware from Nintendo, whatever that's going to end up being in sort of early like spring 2024. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the announcement of this before we hear about a new console. And then they kind of announce the new console around, early, maybe like February.
Say that one again? Because I missed the beginning.
So basically, I'm predicting that Metroid Prime 4, they will show off a trailer for this year, kind of Grand Theft Auto 6 style with what you're saying. And then following that announcement in early 2024, they're going to say, hey, new Nintendo hardware, and it's going to end up being one of those things that is kind of cross generational, depending on how that console is handled. Maybe it's similar to, you just put this version in and you get the better version or what have you. So I'm thinking that's going to be kind of the big release title. Especially if they were to release a new Mario this year, that doesn't leave them with much because they've shot off, Mario and Zelda in this year. And then next year, if they were to have new hardware, what other big titles do you have to put out alongside that?
When is Zelda supposed to come out?
Zelda is that March? Tears of the Kingdom. That is May 12th.
Because Zelda, Mario Odyssey came out the same year Zelda came out, right?
Yes.
It came at the end of the year. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So they could definitely be on the same kind of cycle there, depending on how you feel about the Bowser's Furries being kind of a side project to that main team, whether that had taken enough resources that they couldn't stay on schedule. Now that I searched that and I was reminded of Advance Wars, I am going to make what I feel like is a relatively easy prediction that game does get released at some point this year. I don't know when. What's that?
That's it. I mean, I think it is too, but I mean,
I feel like honestly they could just as easily just shelve that thing and never have it released. Like the fanfare around it was not that big because of the way it looked. So maybe they're just like, you know what, you guys didn't like it, I'm gonna take my ball and go home then. I will say, like, this is not a prediction that I'm making, but a rumor that was kind of going around earlier this week, allegedly from a source that has been right in the past on related topics, but allegedly the team that worked on Metroid, what was the last? Metroid Dread is working on another 2D Metroid game. So I could see that coming out this year. Well, Metroid Dread didn't come out that long ago, so I don't know. But I don't know where you would place that if you have Metroid Prime 4 coming out. Like, I don't know that you put those out in the same year. But that would be cool. I'm not against seeing another one of those. Hell, I wouldn't even mind seeing a updated version of Metroid 2 remaster that came out on the 3DS to be released on the Switch. That'd be nice. Another one I'm saying I do expect, because I feel like there's a lot of talk around this, that the Steam Deck is successful right now, but there are already people saying like, oh, you know, I could see a new one coming out or kind of a revision happening. I'm expecting there to be a revision, and I guess this is kind of a prediction for this year, but it's more so for the following year. I expect to see a revision of that releasing in 2024, but I think you start to hear substantial rumors, stuff that's backed up by sources by the end of this year, that we're going to see something new from Valve in regard to that hardware. Especially if we are going to be seeing a new Switch in 2024. I would not be surprised if they are kind of moving in the direction of looking at upgrading themselves. Because if we're talking about new Nintendo hardware, it sounds like they have a deal with NVIDIA in place to make their hardware. So if they're bumping their stuff up to, even if they need to use like DLSS technology to make these games run at lower resolutions on lower hardware but look spectacular, you know, when they start to encroach on the Steam space a little more, it makes me wonder if Valve's not going to be like, hey, we need to offer something different here. Outside of the fact that obviously they offer the whole Steam library as well as a whole lot of other illicit features that Nintendo does not. Yeah, more to the game space.
You know what? That Nintendo console, I mean, I'm trying to think of if that happens, what would that console have to be for me to want to get it? Because I think I'm like, I don't want to do this again. Like I want, like I'm at the point where I want to like I might get a Steam Deck and just steal your fucking games. Like that's what I'm at the point. Like from your previous thing, and then I'll wait for the next thing.
Yeah,
where we can steal those games, because you don't go down in price on these games, and it sucks. Like I'm at the point where I want some budget games. I want some games where like, hey, I'll come in late to the game, but I bought it cheaper because I'm not.
Where are the player's choice titles at? Nintendo?
I'm not the fear of missing out stuff. It doesn't apply to me anymore.
Yeah. I mean, especially when there's so many games to play. It's like, I'm going to miss out regardless. So like, I might as well take that as an opportunity to save some money there. And just in addition to that, just the fact that the performance could be enhanced by doing that as well, it really does make you kind of go like, maybe that's a better option to go there.
I mean, I still would. I would like to have a better Switch, but then I look at it, thinking like, do I? Or I mean, I can just. I mean, I've been okay. I haven't been like scratching. Like, I mean, I do want to play some of those newer Switch games, but not as much that I was willing to buy them. So I was like, I don't know. So it probably wouldn't make sense for me to buy a new Switch, or whatever they call it, their next console. I'm good with just the Xbox and potentially a PlayStation. I mean, I have a PC, or hey, I might get a Steam Deck, so I can even play the PC games too. I mean, on there. And eventually get a PlayStation 5 maybe sometime. I don't know, unless Sony changes something where I can actually stream their games. A lot easier on PC. Then the Switch, I don't know. I don't know what they would have to do. I think I'm okay. I'm missing out on those games, on some of those games. Like there's nothing really holding me there.
Yeah, I'm not too far off with that, because I've definitely like thought about like I wonder what the performance is like for these games on the Steam Deck. Is that just basically the hardware upgrade that I would have wanted out of a Switch Pro?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, and obviously there's some added benefit to maybe not paying for those games, but that's that's a whole other conversation to have. But also the freedom that you're given with the Steam Deck that you're not going to get. Basically it's like, oh yeah, I want the entire Nintendo library on my Switch. They're not giving me that. They're giving me one game a month of like titles that I've never even cared about in my life. Meanwhile, if I had the Steam Deck,
I gotta go check now to see what titles they have put up there. If they put anything of note.
I'm trying to think what the most recent thing I've heard is. I know there was something added not too long ago, but that was something that was like, really? Why even bother with that? But yeah, it's just, it's getting to the point where it's like, oh, people are offering better options here. What are you, and that makes me wonder, like, what do they do now that they've made the switch? Like, how do they go on from that? Because if you want backwards compatibility, you kind of have to follow the same form factor. And do they ever go back to just making a dedicated home console, I guess is what I'm wondering. And it feels like, why?
I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking it was just going to be another, go between. I mean, like the
transitioning boy,
which is
and it feels like it's got to be, unless they want to go down the route of having separate Game Boys again or something like that. And I don't think you do, especially like in the world where there are so many mobile phones now. Like asking someone to carry around a dedicated gaming device that isn't also just your main gaming device, it feels like that's asking a lot of people. So I feel like they definitely follow that route, but like, how do they iterate on it? I mean, Nintendo is known for doing wacky things with their hardware, kind of gimmick. I mean, you can just say gimmicks to their hardware to be different from the competition, because they can't just outpower them. So like, how do you take the Switch but make it more gimmicky? I guess we'll have to leave it up to Nintendo to kind of show us. So, game wise, you kind of covered the big ones, and I don't want to retread those too much, because I think I'm pretty much in line with you. I didn't really think about a 3D Mario game. I would not be at all surprised if that does come out this year. Like you said, it kind of, it also launched the same year as Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey did. So I could see them being on the same cycle. Right now, we don't really know what Nintendo has for the end of the year because Zelda is coming out so early. So I would not be at all surprised if they had that. This long, like, rumored Metroid Prime 1 remaster thing, I feel like that does have to come out this year. I would not be at all surprised if that releases kind of as a immediate drop around the time that they start talking about Metroid Prime 4, whether that be later in the fall or at the end of the year in the winter. Just as kind of like, here's a reprimer and get you excited about the upcoming title. I'd love to see Legend of Zelda Wind Waker finally make its way from the Wii U to the Switch. We've talked about it in the past, though. I just don't know if that's a thing that happens now that you have Tears of the Kingdom, unless that's a thing that they use to kind of fill in the calendar at the end of the year, too. Because if it's not coming out before Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, then, like, what are you doing there outside of just putting enough space between those two? Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at, you know. So it's going to be an eventful year, I think. We're definitely going to either have, especially for Microsoft, like, hopefully I'm wrong and, like, Starfield comes out and then just E3 comes and they're like, boom, 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 Perfect Dark, we talked about that. Guess what? Gameplay, here you go. Fable, gameplay. You know, even if it's, you know, some of those games coming out in 2024, if we're getting more confirmation that those games actually exist in a real capacity, that we're going to be able to play them soon, then, you know, I think that is a positive note in Microsoft's book. And that would be a good thing considering how kind of turned around I was on them last week. So what do you think, Dominic, in general, 2023, how's it going to be for video games?
I think it's going to be an all right year. I think it's going to, I'm going to say better than last year. I think it'd be better than last year.
How could you be better than Elden Ring? There's the words. I was like, what the hell's that game called?
Better for me than last year. Better for me than last year.
There you go.
That's what I say.
Yeah. So,
I mean, last year with the top games, the top game was God of War, Elden Ring, like from the gaming community. Vampire Survivors was a surprise. What else came out? The Kirby game came out. Pokemon. So
2 Pokemon.
Yeah, 2 Pokemon games came out. I mean, it wasn't a bad year last year, but I'll just say this one's will be better. I think the Zelda coming out. You're gonna have I keep forgetting Starfield coming out. Well, you saying delayed later, but still coming out.
Yeah, still coming out this year.
Then you'll have. But I mean, I don't know if Mario does come out, then that come out. I mean, that if that's a thing. Sony got what does Sony got coming out this year?
Mostly like Final Fantasies that we know of right now.
Oh yeah, the Final Fantasies coming out. So yeah, and they might have that remake. Do they have a remake of something in the works?
Last of Us 2 remake.
I thought there was another remake they had in the works.
No,
I guess they already came out with them.
Something, I'm sure, that I just can't think of.
The New Order. New Order remake. What's it called? Not New Order. Not New Order.
1886.
Yeah, 1880. Yeah, that one.
I mean, that could definitely use an entire remake. So it was a fine setting, a fine idea.
I think I said. I think it was a prediction of that. But I don't know if it's a prediction, though. Did they announce a new Dark Souls?
Dark Souls, I don't think so.
Okay, so I think Dark Souls 4 is going to be announced this year.
Okay. Yeah, because that team, well, I don't know how big From Software is, because it seems like they come out with games pretty frequently, so it doesn't...
Elden Ring was Dark Souls 4, basically.
I mean, in a lot of ways.
Put his name.
They are working on Armored Core, so I feel like they have a big enough team that they could be working on that as well as something else. So, yeah.
Did they do Dark Souls 3?
You know what? Who did Dark Souls? There was something weird about Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, I knew it was something weird.
3.
Because it came too close to Sekiro, or another. Oh, not Sekiro. It either came too close to Sekiro or that game that came out on PlayStation.
It was developed by From Software, but it might have been like the game like the game director not being, because it came around Bloodborne.
Bloodborne, that's what I'm about to say. Bloodborne was done by them, right?
Yeah, I think it was whatever that guy's name is. I can't think of it now. I want to say Miyazaki. Actually, it might be Miyazaki, but not the Miyazaki.
So I guess it's not too out of the realms that they could have it this close.
Yeah,
they don't have laws like that over there.
Maybe Miyazaki isn't. I don't know. But there was definitely something weird that like people kind of wrote off Dark Souls 3 because they were like, that's not the real thing. The real thing is Bloodborne. So, all right, Dominic, is that everything for predictions then?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna.
Yeah, what? We could do next week. We'll do the looking back at the games we played from 2022 because that's going to be pretty long. Actually, I'm going to make it like that. The next podcast that's going to be mostly game. It's going to be all games. We're not going to talk about anything else because I think it's going to be pretty long.
I gotcha. All right. So new releases here, Dominic. I didn't mention it as part of the news, but GoldenEye 007, the Nintendo 64 game, is now out on the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox as part of Game Pass. It sounds like that is that game. There is online multiplayer added through the Nintendo Switch online service. That is the way you can play that game as part of the Nintendo 64 expansion pack stuff.
The multiplayer, is it? Do you have what's damn, I'm forgetting these words. Is it matchmaking?
That's a good question. I believe does the online service have matchmaking? I thought it did. Let me see if a quick Google search will give me.
So in the Xbox One, there is no multiplayer.
Correct. Oh, well, there is no online multiplayer, yes.
Online multiplayer. Oh, so I can't play with my friends on Xbox. I have to go to their home and play with them.
Correct. It is couch co-op only. Yeah. Because Nintendo is petty. It seems like is a large part of that. Let's see. Online play is exclusive. Specifically was remastered. There's zero chances game specifically was remastered with matchmaking and lobbies. Still feel like I am not getting a good answer on this very quickly.
That sucks too, because my friend, he just texted us talking about, hey, it's out now. I'm gonna text him saying, yo, it's not online, so
yeah,
play with your cat.
GoldenEye, okay. This is Nintendo Switch Online version 2.9.0 is out. There is no matchmaking. If you want to play online, you have to create a lobby and have friends join. There's no modern controls like the Xbox version. What is that? What does that even fucking mean? Are you telling me there's not like dual joystick controls in the... Oh my God. I'm going to have to boot that up after we get off this podcast because good Lord, that thing might just be a train wreck.
Do you have a wireless N64 controller? The ones that they have you buy, for the N64 games. You got they said you got to get that where you can play.
No, thank you. Even then, I just don't want to play that game like that anymore. We are past the point of I don't want to use the C buttons to look up and down. Thank you very much. We are in the day and age of dual joysticks. You can figure out how to make that work.
Well, they did figure it out, and they just
on the Xbox version.
What's just maybe the Xbox said, "Well, y'all have online. We have the controls."
I wonder if it's just like a matter of because the Nintendo Switch Online thing is just a ROM being played through their emulator.
I was about to say, that's
they
not an
can't
HD.
emulate the C buttons on the joystick or whatever smoothly enough, I guess.
Yeah, so that's just a ROM. The Xbox One isn't a ROM. What is
something
it?
Well, I guess it would be, I don't know, maybe a ROM with like a wrapper around it. I doubt they built it from the ground up or anything like that. There were rumors, and I mean, I don't even know if you can call it a rumor because there was stuff that was released that you can play that Microsoft had basically remastered GoldenEye, but because they couldn't come to an agreement with Nintendo, it never got released in any
It's
official
called
capacity.
The iGolden. Yeah.
Yeah, so that stuff is weird. Might be time.
700.
Well, I guess they already did the perfect
007. 700 got iGolden. Or iGolden 700.
James, they should just take the James Pond license.
Bond James.
Just take the James Pond license. Get that fox on the cover. Yeah, it sounds like that's unfortunate the way that is being handled between those two companies. Cough, cough, Nintendo. All right, next up, Dominic, Forspoken. That's out on the PS5 and PC via the Epic Store. It's an Epic Store exclusive right now. Like I said earlier, reviews are not particularly great for that game, but they're also not awful. I think for the most part, it's been like 6s, 7s, mostly closer to 7s though. You also have Hi-Fi Rush, which we mentioned earlier. That's now out on PC and Xbox as part of Game Pass. And the big one, Dominic, we have Dead Space, the remaster of that, remaster, whatever we're calling that one. That is now out on the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series consoles. What are you thinking, Dominic? I know you were watching a little bit of that earlier. Looks good,
I mean,
right?
it looks pretty good. I think they did a good job with the remaster.
Reviews
but as
are
far
good.
as looks, I haven't played none of the game. Only saw one review from Gaming Forward. They gave it a 9. But yeah, from what I saw, I mean, it looks like what Dead Space was, and like it really cleaned up and like using some of the new stuff. I mean, the new, textures and stuff today. I'm sure they got ray tracing in there and those other buzzwords. They got all that stuff in there.
HDR, ray tracing.
Yeah.
Looks like right now on Metacritic, it's got an 89. So yeah, that's doing pretty good.
That's better than Callisto Protocol.
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
Like what was the issue with Callisto Protocol?
Well, all versions outside of like the PS5 version had a lot of technical issues upon launch, and it sounded like it was just kind of samey and kind of boring.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So EA won. They said we won.
EA always wins, Dominic. EA always wins. They always get what they want. They always get their guy. All right, Dominic, you got anything else then for the week?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, thank you guys as always for listening. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic is at DStallworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Supapod, SUPAPOD. Supapod.com is the website. You can check us out there. Has all of our previous podcasts as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and any other place you might find a podcast on the internet. Until next time, guys, talk to you later.
All right, see you.